An afternoon press conference here at the Rabinowitz Courthouse downtown brought the kind of blockbuster revelation that supporters of the Fairbanks Four have been praying for more than a decade. A confession.
This individual, William Holmes, and 4 other individuals, none of whom were the members of the Fairbanks Four. So based on that information, we have filed a pleading asking for a new trial for these men and for a claim of, or a finding of actual innocence.
Fairbanks police arrested teenagers Marvin Roberts, Eugene Vent, Kevin Pease, and George Fries for the murder of 15-year-old John Hartman in October of 1997. After a highly publicized trial, a jury found the teenagers, who became known as the Fairbanks Four, guilty of beating Hartman to death on a downtown street. Despite that conviction, family members and friends say they never lost faith in their innocence.
This has been 16 years of a nightmare for me. This is the happiest day of my life. Well, when they come home, it'll be the happiest, but for right now, you can't imagine how happy I am.
Today, lawyers of the Alaska Innocence Project, which has been investigating the case for several years, filed applications for post-conviction relief on behalf of the Fairbanks Four. They say that in August of last year, they obtained a letter from former Fairbanks resident William Holmes confessing to taking part in the murder and implicating 4 other men: Jason Wallace, Shelmar Johnson, Marquez Pennington, and Rashad Brown. Holmes, Brown, and Wallace are already in prison for unrelated murders, while Johnson and Pennington remain free. According to Innocence Project lawyer Bill Oberle, Holmes says they had no connection to Hartman before they attacked him.
It was, according to his statement, it was something that they did at that time for fun. They came downtown and harassed people, and John Hartman was an unfortunate victim of that.
The confession letter from Holmes details his account of what took place that night, saying he drove the getaway car and didn't find out Hartman had died until days later by reading the newspaper. News 13 contacted Shelmar Johnson today. Although he declined to speak on record, he disputed Holmes' confession and says he had no part in Hartman's death. Even with the confession, a long series of court hearings likely await, since little evidence remains to corroborate Holmes' version of events other than an affidavit by Scott Davison, an acquaintance who says Wallace confided in him about the attack. Still, the filing is a landmark event in one of Fairbanks' most notorious murder cases, and one that leaves longtime supporters grappling with their reaction to the news.
It's a strange time. I would have guessed, if you'd asked me ahead of time what this was going to feel like, that it would be exciting or it would be a relief. And the fact of the matter is, the pleading contains mostly just more very sad information. It widens the circle of people who were hurt by this injustice.
At the courthouse, friends and family closed with a prayer that nearly 16 years later, the men known as the Fairbanks Four will finally see justice.
Father, we call upon those given legal authority to act now, for the night's over and daylight's coming. Father, we call upon those who are guilty of this action. The light's coming, and there's no place to hide.
I'm Tom Hewitt for News 13.